Stop it.
Probability. You're using probability? Yeah, probability then. Yeah.
Or do you use the money?
Oh my, that is so sad. that is hilarious. Give me 100 rand.
Did you do statistics?
100
Yeah.
on home.
Supporting the love.
Another 150.
She's
This
winning.
is about the money.
She's on respect.
5,650.
How about both?
Probability dictates. Probability dictates.
Okay.
It shall be away.
1,000 on the way.
Watch us play Football Studio on Super TV, channel 150 on OpenView, or use your own probability when you SMS Super TV to 30978. Super TV, let's play.
Hello and welcome to Mosports. My name is Mo and I'm joined as usual by our in-house sports analyst, Mr. Obi Knows himself. Obi Knows, hello.
Hello, Mo.
How are you?
I'm nice, and you?
I'm good. So you're tuning to channel 150 on your open view decoded Super TV, powered by Super Bets. And you can always watch us on Facebook or on YouTube. All you need to do is search for Super TV. And once you find us on those platforms, you can just stream us. And don't forget to subscribe or follow us on those platforms. So now let's go straight to the Mo riddle, because today it's a very busy day. We have Karabo Pasha coming up. We also have to look at what happened in the Cosafa Cup before we look at what's happening elsewhere in the world of football. We're giving you more perspective about that. But the Mo riddle today reads as follows. Now, the number where you need to submit your answer is 071-621-4746. So it says, I'm a former Super United captain who played for the club between 2006 and 2017. I made 150 appearances for Super Sports after joining the club from Bush Bucks. I now have a foundation, and that's named after me. Who am I? So we know he's a South African footballer because he has a foundation, first and foremost. We know that he captained Super Sports United. We also know, here's another clue, that he's a boy from Neisner. So if you know who he is, the number is 071-621-4746. Obi knows, you don't want to tell the people what's happening on today's show?
Well, I do want to tell them. Just that, there's some other formalities that we have to change, but it's fine, we'll get to that. But we're going to be talking a little bit about the Cosafa Cup, of course. Bafana are in the semi-finals of that specific tournament. It'll be taking place later on today, so we're going to get into a little bit of the information, rather, on what to expect in those games. We'll also be talking a little bit about the English Premier League and the PSL with Karabo Pasha. But let's kick it off talking about what's going on in the Cosafa Cup. Of course, like I said, Bafana, 2 games back-to-back, right? They played against Lesotho, won 4-0. Next day, they played against Zambia, and that ended in a 0-0 draw. And that means they're sitting at the top of the table when it comes to the Cosafa Cup table. And they are not playing in the semi-finals. They will play against Mozambique, while Eswatini will come up against Senegal in the other semi-final. So it's a lot to look forward to. I mean, I'm excited about it, it's a lot that's going on in Cosafa. What do you think?
I think it's a lot too. I'm just happy that South Africa is sitting at the top of any table at this moment in time.
This guy.
What? You need to count your blessings. I mean, we're sitting at a good place in the Cosafa Cup. I've been thinking about it just before this tournament. No one would have expected us to win all our games. In fact, not even concede a goal. People would have thought to ourselves that, no, it's South Africa. They're going to go into the first game, lose against Botswana, or they might go, instead of draw. But we really had a good account of ourselves in this tournament. And the funny thing is that none of the big names are there.
None of the big names are there. I'm actually impressed that they even swapped keepers. We saw Freya coming into goals for Captain Veli Motwa in the game against Zambia. So it's good to see that some of these young players as well are fitting into this team. It's looking very good because we've been saying that we want to see some young players playing for the national team. Of course, it is the Cosafa Cup, so it won't be the same faces you're going to see when we're playing in the qualifiers or all of that stuff. But I'm glad that some of the young players are taking these opportunities to put a name for themselves in the Bafana squad. So we're just hoping that they can actually be in the plans of the coach as he comes back.
All right, so let's go to the website. Let's go see what Obi Knows is talking about. And what is this Cosafa Cup? What is happening? Who's in the semifinals? How did the group stages end up? Let's go find out more by going to the website. Here it is, and this is how it looks like. Obi Knows, let's go to match info straightforward. I feel like that's all we do, and go to statistics. People at home are like, this was very obvious. Match info, soccer. Let's go look for international. Right, where is that Cosafa Cup? Concave, Copa, there it is, on top of Africa Nations Championship. Right, let's go first to the tables, Obi. Let's start the story from scratch and see how South Africa made it through these tables. In fact, some of you might want a screenshot right now because it's going to be a while since we see this again. As you can see, South Africa sitting top of the table, no goals conceded, 6 goals scored. That's a very efficient side. So we need to understand what they're doing defensively. Ask Kobe knows about that just now. And as you can see, they have 10 points to their name with the Swatini sitting on 7 points. And Zambia, Botswana, and Lesotho wrapping up that first group. And Zambia sitting on 4, same amount of points as Botswana. And then, as you can see, Lesotho getting only that 1 win and 3 losses in this tournament. They conceded 12 goals and only managed to score 3. So that's not a good reflection on them. But let's go down, Obi. So as you can see, then Senegal is there. They topped their group with 9 points. So even in the group stages, South Africa topped everyone because they got 10 points. Senegal got 9. Mozambique, Namibia both got 7 points. And then as you can see, Malawi got 2 while Zimbabwe got 2 points. So Zimbabwe and Malawi failing to pick up a single win in the tournament. So Group B looking like it was a much easier fare for the teams at the top than Group A. But as you can see, like 2 teams going out without winning a single game. But as you can see, Lesotho, 12 goals conceded. That's a lot. Let's go to fixtures, Obinos. Right, so when you arrive at fixtures, we find the semi-finals waiting for us. As you can see, Senegal and Eswatini, while South Africa are going to be facing Mozambique. Let's try to do a head-to-head and see what happens. Still loading for us. As you can see, this is what the head-to-head has to say. These 2 teams have met 4 times since the year 2008. 3 of the victories going to South Africa with 1 draw between them. And as you can see, South Africa's recent form, they've won 4 out of their last 5 games. They only have 1 loss in their last 6, meaning that they're a better side going into this game. On the other side, Mozambique are the team that finished second in Group B. As you can see, it says table position. They finished second. They have 7 points in their name. And in their last 6, not looking too shabby. They have 2 wins in a row, but they have 3 losses and 1 draw in their last 6. So they're not the kind of team you'd expect to have a good result in this game. Since they have not beaten South Africa in a fixture between these 2 sides, they don't have a highest win, so they have not beaten South Africa. And as you can see, South Africa has got a total of 8 goals in this fixture, putting their goal per game ratio at 2.0. Meaning out of the last 4 games they've played, they've managed to score 8 goals, so that's 2 goals per game. On the other side, it says Mozambique has failed really just to score against South Africa. They've only got 2 goals to their name against South Africa, and they have a goal per game average of 0.50. Let's put the website down. Let's talk more about this fixture. Do you think that South Africa are going to coast through to the finals?
I think South Africa are coasting through this whole tournament. Checked out the Senegal side. The first game they were very jittery. They didn't look like the Senegal team that is so fierce and so feared across Africa. They're known as the Lions of Tarango, the Taranga Lions. It's one of those things where I feel like Bafana Bafana have a clean run. If they don't win this tournament, for me it would be a bit of a disappointment because we look like a much stronger side. Like you're saying, we haven't conceded a goal, this whole tournament. So if we pull at England, it would be terrible because we're also the host of this tournament. It's just unfortunate that fans aren't allowed in stadiums, so we're not hearing a lot about this tournament on the streets. But it's good to see that Bafana Bafana participating well in this tournament, and they're doing pretty well for themselves. So I hope they win it.
It's a good thing South Africans don't know about us hosting this tournament because they'll ask you, where's the castle and the blacks? Because why are we going to a tournament where there's no castle and no blacks? Yeah. The whole purpose of us hosting a tournament is for us to enjoy. It's Tatama leaf, it's June, it's July, it's even rain. So everyone has Tatama black, Tatama castle.
Chill.
You know what I mean? Netflix and chill. That's like the Netflix and chill of countries. Like, just come over, we'll watch some FIFA. You know what I mean? It's like that's how countries gonna do the whole Netflix and chill thing. But let's go back to the website. Let's make a best slip for the Cosafa Cup real quick. So let's go back and let's switch on to the main page. Let's make this best slip happen. You don't look very excited about it.
Me?
You don't trust that you make the right pass. Let's go down to, you have to log in first. Let's log in.
Try.
Hey, I'm scared. Now that you're logging in, I remember we did some things last time around. Yeah, on Wednesday we were very confident in the things we've done. Let's not go check our account. Let's go down. I'm bad.
We're bad.
Yeah, soccer.
Chai, boys. We need to feed, boys.
International somewhere there.
I told you, let's not do those things.
And then let's go to Cosafa Cup. Trust me, we need to do those things, boy. Let's give it to Senegal. Eswatini must go home. Let's give it to Mzansi. So we're saying both home sides will pick it up. Yeah, let's just put a clip on it. That's safe money right there. I just feel like, guys, magic. Let's go check our account there. Quickly. We have time. Just go check our account there. Just say account, bet list. It's going to be red. This one. Still running.
We lost one.
Let's see the 2 runnings. The cool runnings.
Said what? This is us.
Oh, this is us. Just now. Okay, check the other running game. Our last hope. Here, good bread, guys.
We can only make 92 rand from this. What's this?
Chelsea, Villarreal, and
that's
Super
still
Cup.
far. That's still far.
That's still far from now. Let's see the one that we messed up. I think it was the one for 1.5. That one, yeah. How do we mess this one up? I mean, it was a straightforward slip.
Void. So they give back our mind.
Stuttgart, but what do we say? We said Stuttgart would win, most.
But me, I told you Stuttgart was on a draw, boy. Boy.
Stuttgart did draw.
Yes, it's fine.
Wolfsburg lost.
Wait, Stuttgart drew and you said they'd take a win. Yeah, they were
Yeah.
supposed to draw, boy. You see, boy, I told.
Yeah, but look, you acting all big. Wolfsburg drew a loss.
You see,
Kiel.
and Kiel, I told you they were gonna win.
No,
I
you
said
say
they
Kiel's
beat
gonna
Bayern.
win,
I
boy.
told
You
you these
say
guys
Kiel-
beat Bayern.
you say Kiel is gonna
lie
win,
right
boy.
now. Lie right now inside.
There it
Didn't
is.
say.
And-
Boy, lie right now, boy.
boy.
Lie right now inside.
Boy,
Didn't
you
say
coming for-
Kiel
you
was
coming
gonna
for my
beat.
character. Look at Hertha, boy, in Hanover. 4-4 draw. 4-4 draw, sir. Dog, this lip was not the one. Let's put it away. Put it away. Everybody just don't. Lesson we learned: don't bet on friendlies. Don't do it.
But me, I told you, dog.
But still, boy, who knew that Hertha and Hanover would draw 4-4?
Yeah, but that's one thing. I'm talking about.
So the other thing is more important
I'm
than
talking
this
about Kiel, boy. Kiel, I said Kiel beat Bayern, and you're like, oh, Kiel can't do nothing. It was Bayern, was tournament. Look now, boy. Pulls that ass.
I didn't put that. Okay, come. Let's find out what did the Daily Sun say about this whole situation with the Cosafa Cup.
So it's not about the Cosafa Cup, right? It's about Kaiser Chiefs and.
Wait, hold on. Does it involve an octopus, boy?
It doesn't involve an octopus. It does involve a certain cock.
So wait, before we go to that conversation, there's a video, of it was the England final in Italy.
Yeah.
So since England was like, you know what, we're being South Africa right now, we're we're making a noise. They got themselves a dog and they put 2 plates there. And they put Italian food on the one plate and they put English food on the other plate. And they were like, dog, choose who will win the tournament today. The dog ate the English plate. They were like, you see, even the animals believe that it's going there. I'm like, you have to come to debit. We know it's pending. You need to come to debit. It's go to,
But
you know what I
the
mean?
octopus died. The octopus died.
The octopus died.
Yeah, Paul.
Paul the octopus.
Paul died. I think like 2012 or 2013.
Why was there no celebrity funeral? That octopus put a lot of people on.
Yeah,
Some people bought houses with that octopus.
Yeah, well. But yeah,
Just for the quarterfinals, like,
yeah, it was
the whole way.
You got everything correct.
Only if you knew about super pets, would have been nice.
Boy, would have been nice. But this certain octopus is like, oh God, it's not an octopus. And she's saying that Kaiser Chiefs are going to, win tomorrow. And this is obviously the Daily Sun Sports this morning. And that's the headline right there. Amakosi will be champions. And it says that underneath, Sangomas have predicted good results for Kaiser Chiefs on Saturday night in Morocco. It's just unfortunate I couldn't get a hold of Mr. Matthews and Betty to come and join us and tell us a little bit about this headline, because I actually saw it on his WhatsApp status, and I was like, what? What's going on?
At this point, you can't put it past Kaiser Chiefs, eh?
What?
Like, you can't honestly say that Kaiser Chiefs won't walk away with that tournament. As much as we love Pito and we respect the Mo Sharif, but guys, have you seen how Kaiser Chiefs coach here? Kaiser Chiefs is that one pro that it was like, I'm not talent, PSL. The next thing that he is, stop playing with the umpire and everything. Like Kaiser Chiefs, at this point, no one is bold enough to say that Alaki will take it, especially if you're South African. No one.
Oh, you should listen to me a little bit more, because I said it this morning.
You said Alaki is going to take it?
Yeah.
You said Alaki is going to take it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's only one South Africa who's bold enough to say it, but you said it right here. We'll deal with them later. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Karabo Pasha, someone who might speak a little bit more sense when it comes to this Kaiser Chiefs chat.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150. are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
Welcome back to Mosports. Now, as you can see, I'm sitting center table, meaning that Mr. Obi knows has given us some space to make space for another football great. We're talking about Karabo Pasha, football journalist, who's joining us now via Skype to have a conversation in depth about both what's happening locally and what's happening internationally in the world of football. But before we have him on, let me remind you of the Mo riddle. Now, you can read it for yourself, and be sure, if you're watching us on YouTube or on Facebook, please leave us a lovely comment below with your answer. So as you can see, the Mo riddle is quite straightforward. There's a boy from Neisner who went on to captain Super Sports United, and now he has a foundation in his own name. So if you know who he is, make sure that you go on your Facebook or you go on your YouTube and you stream Mosports and you leave us a comment below. Mr. Pasha, how are you doing today?
Yeah, good afternoon, Mo, and good afternoon to all your viewers as well.
Oh, we're so blessed to have you today, because yesterday, last time we tried to speak to you, the signal let us down very, very much. But today, at least we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think technology has got a way of dealing with us, but listen, we learn and we live to really try to get better with it.
All right, so the last time we spoke, it was announced yesterday that Thabiso Kutumela has indeed joined Mamelodi Sundowns. So now, does that help balance out the books for Maritzburg United after we've discussed their financial situation?
Yeah, listen, unfortunately, Mamelodi Sundowns has not confirmed those news yet, but it looks like he has joined Mamelodi Sundowns, just waiting for confirmation from the club. But if that is true, I think, that money would really go a long way in trying to help Maritzburg United, because they've had a very, very tough seasons over the last 4 or 5 seasons. Hence, they've been selling their best players over the last couple of years.
All right, now let's move on our chat to the KZN. I mean, KZN was on the brink of making history, about to have 5 clubs in the PSL in the top flight. We're talking about Golden Arrows, Amazulu, Maritzburg United, Royal AM, Richards Bay. But things took a huge turn when some things that are not even happening on the pitch unfolded with the whole playoffs for promotion. Now, I just wanted to know, as that issue has not been resolved, Royal AM are still fighting. Skukuru United are preparing and bolstering their side to play in the PSL. What should we expect coming the new season?
Yeah, Mo, to be quite honest, the PSL has charged, Royal AM in terms of them not playing all the 4 games, in the promotional playoffs. Now, confirmation is that tomorrow at the PSL headquarters out at the Marks Park, out at Parktown, rather, sorry about that, they will be having a case from 8 o'clock up until around 4 or 5 o'clock. And already Royal AM have released a statement saying that they will not be attending that one tomorrow. So it looks like, Royal AM will be campaigning in the National First Division next season yet again. And unfortunately, that leaves, 2 clubs in the region of KZN, that is being Maritzburg United, as well as Amazulu, as well as Golden Arrows, 3 clubs.
All right, so now let's continue the conversation. So while we're still talking about transfers, Sipho Mbule has been withdrawn from the Olympic squad, and he's a big miss for the national side. I mean, he's quite a key player. So are there any other transfer updates for players like Kulu Sibia?
Yeah, listen, I think you're talking about Nkosinathi Sibia from
Yes.
Golden Arrows. Yeah, there has been talks that, he will be joining Orlando Pirates Football Club. I actually spoke to the journalist who broke the story about a couple of days ago. That is Ernest Fakudo, one of the top football journalists in the country. It looks like that one will be happening because, Mandla Ngiras has now joined Orlando Pirates Football Club as one of the assistant coaches. So he knows the players of Golden Arrows. So it looks like Sibisi will be joining Orlando Pirates in the next couple of days.
Oh, so that one is done, dusted, confirmed.
Not by the clubs,
Yeah.
but by the people in and around the player. It looks like that one will be happening, yes.
All right, so let's talk about an old head right now. We all know of Upamanyesa, his illustrious career. And Chippa United have now let him go without him having ever stepped a foot on the pitch for them. Does this mean that maybe he's considering hanging up his boots, or will we be hearing about another club he'll be joining?
Yeah, I don't think he will be retiring. I mean, he's 32 years of age. Obviously, his heydays were back at Orlando Pirates, and also he was the skipper of the club. Had a very long, good career at Orlando Pirates. Unfortunately, at Sundowns, that Achilles tendon really destroyed him. Also went to TM, where he didn't play an awful lot of games. Actually, didn't play, because there was a bit of dispute in terms of his signing on fee, and he moved to Chippa United, where he also didn't play. But I don't think he will be retiring. Possibly might be given a chance, at another club in the PSL, but it looks highly unlikely at this moment in time because, he hasn't really played football for the last 1.5 or 2 seasons.
All right, so let's talk about Dylan Shepherd, who has apparently turned down a chance to work with Gavin Hunt. So far, how is Gavin Hunt's camp looking? Is he looking to bring in new faces to the Chile boys?
Yeah, definitely. I'm being told that Chippa United at this moment in time, they've got 11 players at the club. So obviously, Gavin Hunt has got a huge job there in terms of incomings at the football club. I'm being told, a lot of players that he played under him at Bidovas will be joining him. The one that comes to mind, but nothing has been confirmed yet, is the one who was a central defender, Buhle Mkonazi. He's one of the players that might be joining Chippa United. Remember, he does not have a football club at this moment in time, but expect a lot of business coming out from PE in terms of Chippa United.
All right, so let's move on the chat. I mean, we haven't talked about all the clubs in the league and we haven't talked about all the players, but is there any transfer agreements that have been reached in the PSL that we haven't discussed?
Let's talk about Mamelodi Sundowns. And our confirmation as well is that I'm being told that close to 8 players will be leaving the club. Obviously, there's been 4 confirmed players, coming in at the club, but 8 players will be leaving the club. The players such as Hananaha Langerman, the left back as well. There's also the likes of the one from the midfielder, as he's been linked with Morocco Solos, Kekan as well, from Kekana. That's a bit of a surprise. Wow. I'm being told that Swallows are looking at him, but nothing has been confirmed. So I'm being told a total of 8 players will be leaving Mamelodi Sundowns at this window. And just the last one in terms of Orlando Pirates as well. I'm being told that Orlando Pirates are in looking to bring in a goalkeeper. Siyabonga Mponjane is one of the players will be leaving Orlando Pirates in this window. So Orlando Pirates will be looking to replace him with a new goalkeeper. And surprise, Mo, that goalkeeper is playing for another Soweto Giants in the form of Kaizer Chiefs or Morocco Swallows. So that is as far as I can go in terms of that one. And finally, as well, that neighbours Kaizer Chiefs. So obviously, they're currently out in Morocco. One player that they're looking to bring in is a striker. Remember, Samir Nurkovic has been, has a lot of pressure on him, over the last couple of seasons. So Kaizer Chiefs are definitely in the market for a new striker.
All right, before we take a break and have you back on for the conversation, I just want to ask you a key question. Now, Obi knows has been saying that it looks like Kaizer Chiefs will go to Morocco and they'll come back with silverware. So I just want to know from your perspective before the break, do you think it's going to be a silver medal or do you think it will just be a silver trophy?
Yeah, both silvers, Mo. I don't think they'll be coming with any gold. Actually, there's a beautiful goal behind me if you can see it. I think they'll be going to Egypt, definitely not to South Africa, unfortunately.
All right, so please stay on the line. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our conversation.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
How to register a new SuperBets account. SMS Super TV to 30978 and you will receive an SMS with a sign-up link. Click the link you receive, which will direct you to the SuperBets mobile site. Click Login. On the pop-up, click Register Now. Fill in the required details on the form, from your ID number all the way to your contact details. Be sure to choose a strong password that you will remember. After filling in your details, click Submit. In a few minutes, you should receive an OTP if your details were entered correctly. Back onto the SuperBets mobile site, type in your OTP. In a few seconds, you will receive a welcome SMS confirming your new account. A 50 Rand sign-up bonus will reflect in your account within 24 hours of your sign-up. Welcome to our family. SuperBets, bet with the biggest.
Dibra, don't be such a nuisance. Just SMS Super TV to 30978 and join in on the action.
You are watching Super TV, OpenView, channel 150.
Welcome back to Mosports. We're still in conversation with Karabo Pasha, our football journalist. He's been giving us insights about what's happening in the local game. Now it's time for us to take it international, namely starting off with the Euro 2020, how it ended, all the articles, all the tweets. I mean, there's a lot to discuss there. So, Mr. Pasha, how are you doing?
No, I'm all right. Really looking forward to this fantastic conversation.
All right. Thank you for staying on the line for us. I mean, we have a lot of questions, but first and foremost, we need to talk about England. Since 1966, that was the last time when they still had Bopobi Moore in the teams that they tasted international success. And it's been a while. And they tasted a defeat. It was a very bitter one, not only because of what happened on the pitch, but what followed on the social medias.
Yeah. I think you are talking about, the racism that the three English young players, Marcus Rashford, Bukayo Saka, as well as Jadon Sancho, suffered. And, I spoke to one of my correspondents on Tuesday morning. He told me that Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of England, went to the training grounds that is at St. George's Park, and he spoke to the three young players just before they left, the camp, and said to them, listen, we do support you. Unfortunately, the events that happen, we do not have control over. But also the three social media platforms that these players were abused, that is Instagram as well as Facebook and Twitter. I'm being told that England are trying to really have a bit of control and talks with them in terms of minimizing this type of racism or racist chant at the players.
So what is the atmosphere in England in terms of the people's response to all the social media abuse? I mean, we just got the perspective of the government and the FA, but what is the general atmosphere in the country?
Yeah, at this moment in time, it is quite low. It is quite low. Unfortunately, there should have been a huge, a celebration in terms of England reaching the finals for the first time in 55 years. Of course they did, but they're not celebrating due to what happened off the pitch. So at the moment in time, they're trying to really rally behind the three players, the young English players, and try to support them. But the mood in England at this moment in time, I'm being told, is not of a positive note.
All right, so let's move on and talk about one of the players that was racially abused. We're talking about Jadon Sancho. He finally did his medical for Manchester United. So now, do you think that this signing eases off a little bit of pressure from Manchester United, the player himself, after the Ed Woodward era?
Yeah, listen, I think obviously, Jadon Sancho has long been chased by Manchester United, and this is a very, very good news, for the club and everyone who supports the club. And hopefully, this is the first of many, of at least 3 or 4 more quality signings. Listen, it's not going to solve the entire problems in terms of incomings, but it is the step in the right direction for Manchester United. And hopefully they can try to bring in a couple of more players in terms of incomings at the club.
So do you think they can follow it up with the signing of Varane and Kamavinga to come through that door there at the AON training center?
Yeah, in terms of Varane, that also confirmation is that Real Madrid have given Rafael Varane, go ahead to speak to Manchester United, and I'm being told that personal terms are not expected to be a problem. However, in terms of the Kamavinga one, there is interest out, but Manchester United is not the only club interested in him. But the Rafael Varane one, it looks like it will be happening the next couple of days, because Real Madrid have given him the go ahead to chat to Manchester United.
So I'm just going to ask you a side note here. Do you think it would be a good signing to get any one of those two defenders?
I think Varane. I mean, he's won the Champions League with Real Madrid 3 times. He's won the World Cup as well. I think he's the more likely, or the more positive one if they are able to get him, because he's also at a very good age, 26. His experience is played for the big tournaments for Real Madrid as well as France. So I think him going to Manchester United would really signal, the intent of trying to wrestle for the Premier League this season.
All right, so we're hearing that there's rumors around what's happening in Arsenal. Kieran Tierney, also players that have been wanting to be brought in as backups to the left-back position. Now, tell me, is there any other rumors in terms of the Emirates that we should be very cognizant of?
Yeah, in terms of Arsenal Football Club, unfortunately, Arsenal supporters switch off your television at this time, to be honest, because, before Arsenal can make any new signings, they've got to sell players because of their financial state. And some of the players that I'm being told that will be sold this summer, it is Bentley, Hector Bellerin, Mathieu Guendouzi. Well, the Guendouzi one, it looks like it is edging ever so close. He's told Arsenal that he wants to play for Olympique Marseille, so that one looks like it will be getting over the line. Lucas Torreira as well, he wants to go back to Italy. That one also looks like it will be happening now. The catch-22 one is Ben Leno, because Arsenal have been struggling to get a replacement, but Onana, one from Ajax Amsterdam, his one also looks like there are talks between Arsenal as well as Ajax Amsterdam, so that one might be happening. Hector Bellerin, I'm not too sure about this one. I think he is still needed at Arsenal. He came through the ranks, well, obviously from Barcelona, but he grew up at Arsenal from 14 years of age, and I think Arsenal should really try to keep hold of him. But in terms of incomings, Arsenal do have to sell first before bringing in new signings.
That's very sad news, because I already know there's a long list of players that have already left. I mean, your Odegaard's back to Real Madrid after his loan spell. We're talking about David Luiz, whose contract has also run out, and he's gone now on the free. So it's going to be a big season for Arsenal. But here's the craziest one of them all. I mean, Obi knows, as you know, he sits here and runs his mouth all the time about how Maddison will be signing for Arsenal and how Arsenal need a playmaker like Maddison. So is he crazy for saying that Maddison could be in an Arsenal shirt come the start of next season?
Yeah, listen, I think that one, I don't see that one happening, to be quite honest. Obviously, I think Maddison has been on the up and up over the last couple of seasons, as well as Leicester City, under Brendan Rodgers. So I do not see him moving to the Emirates, because, Arsenal have been on a downward spiral over the last couple of years. But listen, Obi knows has got the right to dream, and let him dream.
Let him dream. We should change his name to Obi Dreams, because I think about this Maddison thing and I'm just like, maybe it's a little bit far-fetched. But let's take it across London now and talk about Chelsea. They've been courting Erling Haaland for about the longest time in this window. I mean, there's been all kinds of memes, all kind of graphics, all kind of photoshops in him in a Chelsea shirt. But they still have Olivier Giroud, Tammy Abraham. So the situation still seems unclear. Do they keep those two strikers, or do they sell them and get Erling Haaland in?
Okay, let's start with Oliver Giroud. Oliver Giroud arrived in Milan yesterday just about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So he'll be undergoing his medical during the course of the weekend. He's out of the club. Chelsea will be receiving £1 million for him and £1 million in extras as well, based on his performances as well as his appearances. So that's one out of the window. Tammy Abraham as well. I'm being told that Arsenal are looking to sign him for £40 million, but they should be raising money for him to sign him first. As I said, they cannot bring any players without selling. So in terms of the Erling Haaland one, I think that's a very difficult one. And now the catch-22 with this one is that he's got a buyout clause that kicks in 2022 for £77 million, and clubs will be looking to bring to sign him. It's not just him, Chelsea as well as Manchester United. So I think Chelsea, if they do want him this summer, they have to be splashing out something like 95 million or 100 million pounds for him, because it's an absolute gem of a footballer, 20 years of age, Norwegian, and has been doing wonders for Borussia Dortmund.
So just a side question again. I mean, I need to know from you, because I've said this before. I just said that when it comes to Erling Haaland, he needs a club that will be built around him, that will feed him the ball and be able to work towards his powers. Do you think Chelsea is that right club?
It's a difficult one. It really is a difficult one, Mo. I think in terms of how Chelsea do play, I think you remember last season under Thomas Tuchel, they were not really playing in terms of crossing the balls. They were just coming through the centre, as well as the wingers also dribbling the wing backs and coming in with the ball. So I'm not sure if Chelsea is the right club, but listen, if they do sign him, he's a good addition to Chelsea Football Club, and they might be starting to play or plan in and around Erling Haaland.
All right, so as you know, Leipzig has been the victim of circumstance right now in world football. I mean, they've lost Upamecano go to Bayern Munich, and Konate joined Liverpool, while Liverpool let Gini Wijnaldum go on to PSG. Now, the question is, do you think Liverpool already have the players to replace Gini, or do you think that they should go into the market and buy a player that can bolster that midfield?
No, I think they'll definitely need a new player, and I'm being told that they are in talks with Brighton Albion for Bissouma. He's also been being targeted for £40 million, but the Brighton wants something like 45 to £50 million for him, and he's also very young, 24 years of age, very good defensively, can screen the back four. So I think Liverpool should be looking at that type of player. Arsenal as well, surprise, they're always being linked to these players, but once the big boys come in, I think that's where they win the race, that is. So Liverpool, it looks like they should be signing a new defensive midfielder, and being told that Bissouma is one of the players that Liverpool are looking to bring in this summer.
All right, speaking about Liverpool, let's talk about the front three. I mean, I know Salah, Mane and Keita will not be available for about a month, but Harvey Elliott is coming back from loan. He was playing at Blackburn Rovers. Now the question is, should we expect Liverpool to start the season off with a front three that includes Elliott, Jota and Firmino?
Yeah, possibly. Just not sure with Elliott. Obviously, he had a lot of minutes at Blackburn Rovers, and he really scored a couple of goals. Hence, Liverpool did award him a new long-term deal at Liverpool Football Club. But is he really ready for the rigors of the English Premier League? Possibly not. I see him more as an understudy, but they've got Jota as well as Roberto Firmino. So maybe there might be a bit of a 4-3-3 in terms of that, and another player. I'm not sure, but possibly Origi. But it looks like he will be leaving the club because he hasn't really played an awful lot of games. So it's a bit of a questionable one in terms of how Liverpool will be starting in terms of their front three.
Let me just put in a side note here, because when it comes to Origi, it's a very touched subject for Obi Knows, and luckily he's not in the room. So let me ask you about it. So do you think that Liverpool should be letting go of Origi? Do you think that he's been there for too long and he's been an understudy for way too long? Do you think maybe he might find himself greener pastures?
No, I think in terms of the squad depth, I think they should be keeping him because obviously Liverpool will be competing for the league title as well as the European Champions League, and besides that as well, you wouldn't really want to go on a Champions League night on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and then on a Saturday you've got another important game and you've got to rest key players. So I think that's where Origi does come in, as well as the short player from Switzerland as well. Just forgot his name, Shaqiri. So I think those two players should be kept at the club, as depth squad players.
But don't forget that when Shaqiri was still a youngster, he was touted as the Swedish Messi. So you cannot forget the young man's name. I mean, the short man's name. But let's talk about the two Englishmen here. I mean, Jack Grealish and Harry Kane had an exceptional Euro 2020. Harry Kane for one. The question is, both these players look like they might be on the move. Do you actually know where they might be going?
In terms of the Jack Grealish one, I'm being told that Manchester City are desperate to have him. They really are desperate to have Jack Grealish at the club. However, that's why Aston Villa are looking to bring Emil Smith-Rowe at Arsenal Football Club for something like 35-40 million pounds. But Arsenal have made it clear that he's not going anywhere this summer. So I think Jack Grealish is more likely to be moving away, possibly to Chelsea or Manchester City. And in terms of Harry Kane, Manchester United were interested in him as well as Manchester City. So it's either the red or blue half of Manchester for Harry Kane, but I understand that City as well are the front runners to try and sign him, because Chelsea were also in it, but Tottenham across the town, they will not be looking to do business with their rivals.
But what's crazy about this whole conversation we just had about the English game is that two names are always linked with all these players. We're talking about Arsenal, we're talking about Manchester United. And these are two former greats of English football. So do you think that maybe the positivity is coming in this decade? Do you think that maybe they are rising back to the top tier of the English game?
Yeah, absolutely. Particularly Manchester United. I mean, they've won 19 English Premier League titles. They've won the Champions League, I think, twice. Yeah. Unfortunately, Arsenal, we still speak about the Invincibles. The 2003-04 season. That's where Arsenal were, the supremacy, the supremate of English football. But I hope and pray that, in the next decade they can try to compete again. Because I mean, looking at the Emirates Stadium, it's one of the super stadiums out in Europe. So hopefully, the Arsenal as well as Manchester United do try to come back and compete at the highest level.
All right, now I'm just going to pick your brain before we let you go now. When it comes to the top six, I mean, in the 90s, the top six was a whole different picture with Everton involved in there. And then you looked at the 2000s, and a lot of teams were still that top four of Liverpool, Manchester United, Arsenal, and Everton. And then next thing switched in the 2010s, and we see that now Manchester City are now one of the top four. Do you think that this decade will bring in a new powerhouse in the English game, or do you think that we should be expecting the same big six? Or do you think the big six will fall away the same way Newcastle fell from their graces?
Yeah, listen, I think to be quite honest, the top four really does pick itself. Manchester City, Liverpool, United, as well as Chelsea. I think now Arsenal will be competing with the likes of Tottenham, Everton as well. I'm just not sure about, the new Everton manager, that is Rafael. I'm not sure if he is, good for it, because, they've got technically gifted players. But in terms of the top four, I think it is sorted out. Only two positions is Arsenal, unfortunately, as well as Tottenham fighting against the likes of, as I said, Everton Football Club. But we'll see what's going to be happening in this season and beyond. But the top four, I think it's sorted out.
All right, Mr. Pasha, before we let you go, please let us know, where can our fans find you?
It's the beautiful game, as well as at the Sports Guy on Twitter, and Karabo Pasha on Instagram. That's where I post all the the transfer news, as well as the incomings and outgoings here in the local league. And we'll see. There's a lot of incomings at Mamelodi Sundowns as well as outgoings, so it's going to be quite interesting.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Mosports, and thank you for joining us too. We'll be taking a break, and when we come back, Obi Knows will be back on the screen. We'll be talking about the latest in football fashion.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
No problem. Now ungapopa with Super Bets. Simply SMS Super TV to 30978 and start playing.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
Welcome back to Mosports. Now, just a reminder, now in recent times we've learned one thing and one thing only. The most important thing is that you must appreciate the people you have in your life, the people around you, because you'll never know when this COVID might just step in and make things just take. But welcome back to the show. Let's celebrate the fact that we're here to talk about what's happening in the latest of football fashion. Now, the more riddle, let's just give it to you one more time. See if you know the answer. Don't forget, all you need to do is go below and leave a comment and tell us, do you know who this is? Well, let me give you one more clue. His surname is a month.
This guy.
In the year.
This guy.
No, because that's not giving it all away.
This guy.
You could be January.
Killed us.
Oh, you don't want to tell the people at home that his name is a man.
You killed us. Dude. Now they're all gonna know.
No, we're all gonna know.
You should see the guests I was seeing downstairs.
Can we see the guesses that you were seeing downstairs? Are they WhatsApp messages?
There was a few.
Can we please see them on the screen? Because he's complaining. Let's see these guesses. Are they crazy guesses?
Nah, they're very close.
Okay. Hey mom, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say Richard Kata.
Ricardo
Kata.
Ricardo Kata, yeah.
That's Bo. Bo.
It's very close. They played in the same era, the same team.
Yeah.
Kata was putting him on the bench.
Let's try someone else. Let's move on. Let's talk about the jerseys that are coming out of world football. Now, the first one is the Barcelona jersey. I just want to see the jersey first before we have the conversations. How does the jersey look? Is it black?
No, it's not black this time around. They didn't take the Kaiser Chiefs concept and made it their own.
Is it pink and then blue at the bottom?
It's a nice kit. That's all I'm gonna say. Beautiful kit. I think Nike could have done a lot better with this kit. I mean, it's exactly how it looks there on your screen. You can see it. It's got a big cross. You can see where the Nike tick is. I should have just got a better
cross.
picture.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think I like the picture. I mean, if you look at the pants as well, they're two colored. So it's purple on one side, it's blue on the other.
I think Barcelona need to accept that they chose a whack color scheme. Nike at this point doesn't know what to do with the stuff. It's like, I
think Barcelona. I think what ruined Barcelona was the sponsors. Remember they had
they had the
plain
sponsors.
keys, they hadn't before they had UNICEF and all of that. They just had and Laporta was against that. So
he put in the sponsor,
Yeah, he was the president at the time. when Barcelona were
That's
getting
UNICEF,
UNICEF on. Yeah, but like that UNICEF, remember that it was I just don't remember how the partnership worked, but they were also kind of like sponsoring UNICEF, you know. So it was a two-way thing in some way. But
yeah, but when UNICEF comes, if UNICEF came to Mosports right now, it's like, yeah, no, let's put UNICEF on your shirt.
UNICEF, there's 100 kids in Africa, my guy. We need UNICEF.
No, but we also have the kids in Africa, so they'll be helping us as well. But let's carry on. Let's talk about Liverpool Football Club. Let's see their jersey. Let's see how they're rolling up this season. Let's see it. Alright, Buffett. Why is it not red?
Boy, this is the away. So we already looked at the red one earlier on in the year. But this is the away kit, and my goodness.
I can go to work with this. No
my goodness.
But you know what, nah? I think we don't give Nike enough credit for the kind of other clothing they come up for clubs. Yeah. I mean, I've seen Liverpool's collection now from Nike. Crazy.
That water bottle that you're seeing there at the back, it actually represents the material that was used to create the shirt. Now, I don't know how, but plastic was used to create these football jerseys. So Nike has obviously been on a campaign to try and decrease their carbon footprint, you know, and that is one way that they started, you know, making jerseys with using water bottles, recycled water bottles. So I think it's very interesting, you know, how these concepts are. I just wonder how the texture of the kit is, but I'll tell you, know what, I'm gonna get it and I'll let you know how it feels.
Is it expensive?
It definitely is. It's 1.6. Not bad. Kind of so pretty much the same price as the
previous. Have you ever been to Woolies and then they offer you a plastic and you're like, no, I want the bag, and it's like $4.
Yeah, well.
When you go to discount, you like, they're like plastic, like 69 cents, and you're like, no, I want the environmentally friendly one. And they give you a cardboard paper, whatnot.
Really?
It's like 10 rand.
Really?
It's expensive to save the environment, chief.
Yeah, no, we have to save it anyway. Though.
Yeah, but it's expensive.
We really need
to. It's
100
like for the bougie
extra.
people, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just 100 rand extra though.
Like, do you think that at ShopRite they have like the paper bag?
Plastic? Nah.
They give you a box. Like, nah, box. Yeah,
box. Give you a 2 box.
Let's talk about Manchester United. Let's see how they line up for next season, and will this kid bring trophies? Finally, let's see it.
Well, the kid represents Tony van der Beek, team viewer on the bench. Know what I'm saying? But it's a classic look. I don't really support the long sleeve that Rashford is wearing, but it's a very classic look, and that's one of the arguments I was having with our makeup artists earlier on. Like, look back at the other kids and like try and, you know, bring something out, you know, create something. I actually like the short sleeve much better than the long sleeve. But I like the fact that they went retro with it. You know, they're paying respect, you know, to the Bobby Charltons, you know, of the Man United. So I like the fact that they went retro. It slightly could have been better. The sponsor, I think it's a little too high, but nonetheless, it's a pretty good kit when you're looking at the short sleeve, because you can see the stripes going down as well. Yeah.
What do you think Rashford is thinking about?
He's thinking about, man, I should have played for Jamaica.
Like, damn it. Should have loved me Nigeria. What am I doing in England? Let's talk about the AC Milan kids. We're going to look at the males and the females jerseys. So let's see AC Milan, how they. We see the thing is, once we get to Italy, that's like the Cavella of its drip.
It's drip.
Like there's jerseys from Inter Milan. You're just like, this one Vela wanna cop. Hey, let's see it.
This is Zlatan. So there's two different. There's only cool. So let me just start with the stripes, right? Traditionally, that is the stripes that AC Milan are well known for. You know, so they kept to tradition. A bit different, of course, with the thick one going right down the middle. You know, but the difference between this one and the ladies one, which you'll see in a few, is when you look at the neck. You can see you see, there we go. When you look at the neck, it's slightly different. That's Jane, by the way, from South Africa. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put on like that. Yeah, I'm just saying. So the only difference, pretty much, is of course the sponsor. Yes, firstly, the sleeve as well. You can see it's a bit more of a woman's shirt. You know, the sleeves are very high, and the collar as well is the only difference on there. But so pretty smart.
A couple of years ago, AC Milan actually wanted to set up an academy in South Africa. So there's quite a big AC Milan influence in terms of South African football, in terms of women. Yeah. There was a representative that I once met who came to a school in Sandton, and he was talking about his journey in the Italian game. So this guy, he was a scout scout head for Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan. He also did for Parma, and I'm not quite sure which other big team. But he had all the networks in terms of that. And in terms of players going to Milan, there's a lot of young South Africans that are getting trials overseas. It's just that you need to know the right people, like Obi knows. Give them a call, and they'll put you on.
I can tell you that like Italian teams are now trying to gravitate more to bringing African players. Yeah. Juventus went into Nigeria, and they've got this guy was on Big Brother. I just forgot his name. He was on Big Brother.
So the homie that pulled all of that stuff off, he's an American guy. He's also making bamboo toothbrushes now.
Oh, that's crazy.
So he's the guy who actually pulled all of that stuff off. So all that, if you've seen an Italian club in Africa, this was the man who was doing it in the early 2010s. So they did all of that. But right now the emphasis is AC Milan women have set up academies in South Africa. That's the person thing. Let me not get it personal. But let's move on. Let's talk about what's happening across the oceans. Let's go to Brazil. Obi knows. Atletico
Mineiro.
Let's see their jersey. Let's see how they're lining up.
So this is a beautiful, beautiful kit. Right. This is for me the most beautiful kit I've ever seen in my entire life. Right. This was a competition. So Atletico Mineiro had a competition, and fans had to create a concept kit, which would be, the winner would be chosen. The detail of this kit, from the neck to the collars, and now it has that Brazilian map. That's the map of Brazil, and right on that map of Brazil, obviously you can see the logos on top there, and it's got a bit of a message at the bottom. It's got a message right at the top of the Le Coq Sportif logo as well.
This is a collector's jersey, this one.
It is a beautiful kit, Mo. If I could get my hands on this kit.
You can.
Well, chance, it's a limited edition.
Have you heard of Wish.com?
It's a limited edition. Wish.com is gonna play me. It's a limited edition, a beautiful kit, and dog.
Le Coq Sportif.
Lining. Oh, it's gone.
Le Coq Sportif. It will be gone.
It's bad.
They think this cartoon is come back. You look at your shirt with Ultra Melons on. So let's move on. Let's talk about the answer to the Mo riddle, because most of you got it wrong. But here is the answer. His name is Christopher September.
Is it? It's Tabo though.
Tabo, Christopher September, we know. I love the fact that you wait for the picture with the dress, because right now I don't think he's. I'm sure he looks at these pictures and like, Amar. I think it was a Super Sports United thing, because all these guys from this era, they all have a picture of these threads and they're playing their football.
It's one of those things, man. I mean, England was supposed to all look like Phil Foden if they won the Euros. They're all gonna do the Foden cut. So it's one of those things. When you're with the boys,
Foden looks like got that at Legends, eh?
Yeah, no.
Look like you got that at Legends.
They shaped it up proper. You know what I'm saying?
The trim.
It looked very good.
We're endorsing a lot here. Carry on.
Are we?
What do you say?
We are. In fact, before we finish up with the kit conversation, so I read an article yesterday, and the Serie A is banning green kits from not this season, but the next one.
Why?
So apparently, and
we only have a minute. You have to make this quick.
I'm gonna make it very quickly. So apparently, the company that is given the television rights, they're saying that teams that are wearing green, they're causing a bit of they're causing the cameras to, sort of. So the grass and the green shirts are kind of mashing up, and you don't really see properly, especially for people who are colorblind. Funny enough, I went onto Twitter and I checked that exact tweet out, and there was someone out there who said, "I'm colorblind and this is utter nonsense." So
they wanted an excuse, man. They let them want an excuse.
Yeah, but green has been cancelled from next season, 2022-2023.
Thank you for joining us today on Mosports. Now, we do just get word that 2 people got the answer right for the Mo riddle. His name was Tabo September. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Super TV, powered by Super Bets.
You are watching Super TV, Open View, channel 150.
Goat on my stoop. Like a goat does not just appear all dressed up. Twins want one puppy.
The Week That Was with Daily Sun, Fridays at 5 p.m. only on Super TV, Open View, channel 150.